For many, the appeal of running lies in its simplicity. It is a sport that can be practiced anywhere and requires no equipment whatsoever. Yes, you can and probably should spend some money on decent running shoes, see number 4 below, but, in theory, as long as you have access to terra firma, you can be as naked as the day you were born and still go for a 10-miler. You just might get arrested. However, be warned, running may not require fancy gear or specific topography, but its simplicity cannot mask the fact that it is a high-impact sport. And as with any sport, high impact or not, there are things a novice needs to watch out for. Presenting 5 of the most common pitfalls for the newbie runner. Doing too much, too soon. Far and away the most common mistake for runners just starting out is to go from doing nothing to relatively high volume training in a short period of time. Even if you have perfect form and $180 shoes, running will always be a high-impact activity. If you don't give your body ample time to adjust to your morning 6-miler, you're begging for a stress fracture. Professor Barb Hugenboom, who works in the physical therapy department at Grand Valley University and is a senior associate editor at the International Journal of Sports Physical Therapy, says that this too much, too soon syndrome goes hand in hand with another common error: too fast. Too much, too soon, too fast. They all go together, Hugenboom says. And also, going along the same lines, not getting enough rest. When you're a beginner, you need to take some time for good rest, not just sleep, but rest for your bones and your joints as well. A lot of times, people will say that when you start running, you should run half as many days as you don't. If you are going to run every day, it's got to be a very incremental build-up, doing the same run, every time. Going from not running, to running with some regularity requires a considerable amount of discipline. Those who successfully make the transition, however, are prone to falling into the trap of finding a particular route and pace that works for them and then sticking with it. While better than doing nothing at all, doing the same thing every day will not help you build fitness over time. What can happen is that your body will become pace-driven, says Hugenboom, and you'll be stuck at that 9-minute mile pace. So altering your path, as well as your pace, is probably a very good idea for varying your training. More advanced runners incorporate short, fast interval workouts into their training schedule because this enables them to build anaerobic capacity and increase their fitness level. Variety, so goes the cliché, is the spice of life. Apply this to your running. What can happen is that your body will become pace-driven, says Hugenboom, and you'll be stuck at that 9-minute mile pace. So altering your path, as well as your pace, is probably a very good idea for varying your training. More advanced runners incorporate short, fast interval workouts into their training schedule because this enables them to build anaerobic capacity and increase their fitness level. Variety, so goes the cliché, is the spice of life. Apply this to your running.
Choosing kicks by looks. No, it isn't all marketing hype. The right running shoe does make a huge difference, and you want to take the time to figure out what works for you. When we asked Professor Hugenboom about common mistakes of beginner runners, choosing the wrong footwear was the first thing on her list. When we see people in our clinic, 9 times out of 10, if they haven't consulted with a good running store, or a good provider of footwear, they're choosing a shoe by color, says Hugenboom.